This time, you know what? Let's start with our winner of this round, Josh. Also, I'm going to be much better about our up and down votes this time because I forgot I had that power.
Oh, I love it. So Sam LaPorta to me is easily the biggest bust of the season. He was drafted actually. A lot of people think he was drafted as a tight end 1 on the season, but he was actually drafted tight end 2. If you look at ADP, Kelsey actually did beat him out, which I didn't know that until I saw it today. So I was one of those people. But anyway, LaPorta did get drafted 33rd overall in drafts, and he just sucked. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't, the touchdowns. I was a big person like, oh man, he scored 10 touchdowns last year. He ain't going to duplicate that. Well, he scored 8. So there's only 12 points off. That wasn't the major factor at all. What it was the target share. He went from 21.1 to 17.1. He wasn't getting anything. Jameson Williams came off big this year. He took a lot of targets away from Sam LaPorta. And let's be honest, Gibbs and Montgomery ran that offense. It was their Gibbs or Montgomery. They were getting 20 points a game, it felt like. And if you were lucky, Sun God got into the end zone. And if you're really lucky, Sam LaPorta scored a touchdown for you. I just don't see anyone starting him past week 5. I don't see anyone having him on your roster past week 5. He finished tight end 8, but he didn't reach that mark until literally week 17. I went through the entire season. He started wide receiver 8, week 1. Then he went from 16, 18, 15, 23. Like, he just kept on going up and up and up and up. He came on late and finished strong, but by the time he finished strong, you were already out of the playoffs. So Sam LaPorta, huge swing and a miss. You could have had Lamar. You could have had James Cook. There were so many better players, but you chose to take a tight end. So I hope everyone learned their lesson. Don't take a tight end that early, especially when it's a tight end like LaPorta. It's got to be Kelsey or Bowers. Don't get cute.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Justin. Let's go to Justin on this one.
This one's an obvious. He might not have been 33rd overall in the drafts, but this guy was drafted 1 overall. Christian McCaffrey was drafted as your 101 in most fantasy leagues, unless you, for some reason, drafted like the day of the season starting when you knew he was going to miss at least 4 weeks. Nobody anticipated him missing as much time as he did this season. You expect him to be the best player in fantasy football, and he played 2 weeks this season. And when he did play, he really wasn't as great as he should have been. He played 4 weeks. 4 weeks, and he had 2 double-digit games. The first 2 weeks he came back. Then he only had 7.8, and then 8.7 when he got hurt again. And then he disappeared. Everybody got their hopes up just in time. Okay, playoffs are coming up. Christian McCaffrey's back. He's about to get me into the playoffs, and then he just fails again. He gets hurt again and has another terrible season, finishing as RB68 on this season. Josh talked about it all season long. Man, Christian McCaffrey's killing me. I drafted him 101 in a lot of leagues, and he's absolutely killing me. He just didn't get to pick him first. I got to pick Christian McCaffrey first. That's what happens when you build the sheet.
I wouldn't have picked CMC, by the way. I would say that. I wouldn't.
All I'm saying is you draft him to be the best player in
101.
The best player at 101, and he plays 4 whole weeks and has 2 productive weeks of the 18 games. Yeah.
Well, that's my problem with one, not Dave's as much. We'll get the Dave's in a second, but if it's a debate show, I want to bust. He was hurt. The man was hurt. Like, he didn't disappoint. He wasn't Sam LaPorta disappointing you. He wasn't Dave's guy disappointing you. Playing like, at least he was hurt.
At least Sam LaPorta was getting you points each week. Christian McCaffrey didn't get you anything.
I'd rather have McCaffrey. I'd rather have a guy that, to me, a bigger bust is like McCaffrey. You knew he was getting you 0 points, and you couldn't put him in your lineup. The guys that, like Josh said, he's screwing you. Okay, well, I'm just saying he was out for however many weeks, whatever. Like, listen, he was a huge bust. He hurt your team for sure. But at least most of the time he was just out, and you just sat him on your bench, and hopefully you had Mason or somebody else in your lineup.
Hopefully, one of the 12 running backs that were there.
Hopefully, you had the insight to say, "Let me go pick up."
We'll see.
Let's go pick up Jordan Mason.
Yeah,
but a lot of people still drafted him, thinking, "Oh, he'll be back in 4 weeks."
I mean, I did too. I took him in one league. He hurt.
That's a huge bust, in my opinion. He gets you no points. You are already hurting that much. How many people? I want to know how many people drafted him at 101 and won their league this year.
Probably 0.
I'll say this though. you knew you're getting a zero, like Dave said, put him in your IR, and you have a chance to go pick up somebody else that can give you points. Or if you're plugging in a Sam LaPorta weekly, you're like, I could go get Jonnu Smith, or I can go get this guy, and you're still playing this guy. You feel obligated to.
You know you're getting 0 points for 4 weeks after your draft. Most people are drafting him because the 49ers said he's ready for week 1. He'll be ready week 1. He'll be ready for week 1. So you're like, okay, let's go get him.
Oh, they definitely lied to us.
That's the thing. He is the best.
I'm also going to say, as somebody that has Sam LaPorta on a lot of dynasty teams, because I'm an Iowa boy, tight end university, I started Hunter Henry more than I did Sam LaPorta, and I won my league. So, however, if I wouldn't have had my, my smash mouth running back options, or like my Puka Nacua out for season rather than him out for, the few games that he was, that Puka Nacua is literally the difference between me being a champion and me being not. So I'm saying, you can work around somebody having klutzy play. You can't necessarily work around as much somebody being gone. You at least get points. Dave, let's see what you have to bring for us. Ooh.
Tyreek was a bigger bust than Christian McCaffrey, because Tyreek, every single week you put him in your lineup, and every single week he fucked you. Christian McCaffrey, at least he's out. Like Josh said, he's on your IR. He's not getting. You can put literally. I could pick up a guy off the bench, off the waiver wire, and put him in my lineup if I have McCaffrey. Whereas when I got Tyreek, you're not benching him. And I think I saw he had 0 20-point games. He was. I don't think he got 1,000 yards receiving. He was the 102 or 103 overall this year. So he was right there with Christian McCaffrey.
3 20+ point games.
Okay, so we had a few,
including a 19.5 week championship week.
Where did he
starting him in the
wide receiver? Yeah, he probably didn't make it. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. I think Tyreek, where he was drafted, it hurt you worse than with McCaffrey, because at least with McCaffrey, you knew he was out and you could put someone else in your lineup. Whereas Tyreek was just getting you just shitters all year long, which is crazy to me, because I just don't know how that happens when he's so good and he's playing. But I think he's a bigger bust than McCaffrey. LaPorta, they are all tight. All tight ends are trash. I'm sorry. It sucks where you took them, but besides Bowers and McBride, all the tight ends were garbage. I'm sorry, they just were. And if LaPorta finished as a tight end 8, that sucks compared to where you drafted him. But at least he was serviceable. He wasn't completely he was bad. Trust me, I get it. But he was bad compared to the other tight ends that you're starting. What's the difference? 4 points a game? Okay, cool. Whatever. LaPorta got you 8. Your replacement could have got you 4. You know what I mean? That's not as comparable as Tyreek just completely fucking you. Even McCaffrey, at least he was out. Whatever. That's just. I think Tyreek was the biggest bust of the season by far.
Ooh. Well, I can tell you Josh won't win this round. It's between, obviously, Justin and Dirtbag. I was really on Team Justin until Dave started talking.
Because I'm smart.
Both of their players were impacted by injury, just saying.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't. My player were just sucked.
I mean, but the fact you're disgracing.
Did Tyreek miss games?
No, but Tua did.
Okay, well, you still started Tyreek. I don't care who's hurt.
You're still
Tyreek's still in your lineup getting you
Christian McCaffrey
crap.
In the first round, whereas you're drafting Sam LaPorta in the third.
Top 5 picks.
Hey, I already won round 1.
Yeah.
Y'all can. I'll accept defeat.
101. That's all I'm saying. You drafted a 101 right there, expecting him to be ready week 1, and he didn't play for more than 2 solid weeks.
But at least you could put him on IR.
I'm going with Dave on this one. It was a valiant effort, Justin. This time, Josh was actually a 6th place on this one. Just, if you're going to diminish Iowa tight ends to me, no.
Right.
And Sam LaPorta started to turn it on in the second half of the season. That's something that you failed to mention.
Congrats, buddy. Oh, I did. No, I did. I said he ended up back at wide receiver 8 or tight end 8. I said that.
Yeah, and you said he was not getting as many touchdowns, but he went from 10 touchdowns to 8
No,
touchdowns.
I said that wasn't the problem. I said the problem wasn't. It was his target share and it was yardage because he still scored kind of the same amount.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. You still lost.